Alright, I'm Johnnie JungleGuts, and I am back on the horn to review Planes, Fire and Rescue. No, I'm reviewing PBS superhero documentary that just came out. It's just called like Superheroes. Superhero craze is booming. PBS had to get on the bandwagon, and thank God, because this is definitely one of the best documentaries on the subject of superheroes and the industry around it. They split it up into 3 episodes: Golden Age, Silver Age, and Modern Age, I guess. And they really get into like a lot of the social implications around superheroes. They talk about Superman as an alien and his relationship to the immigrant boom in America in the early part of the last century. They talk about Captain America, designed to sort of stop the suffering of Jews in World War II. He's sort of an end-of-the-war propaganda type entity. And, you know, they touch on bad things within the industry too. You know, the racist depiction of the Japanese during World War II, racist depiction of blacks, and what a horrible industry it was for artists and creators who didn't get fairly compensated. I mean, some of the big wigs of the industry, there were like mafia dudes, and I mean, Stan Lee is probably the biggest con man of all of them, but you know, there he is as usual. They didn't touch, speaking of con men, on Bill Finger as being a much stronger creative presence with Batman, and really, of course, they give the credit to Bob Kane, really, which is a shame. And Todd McFarlane gets a little too much face time for me. I mean, he's an important part of the industry from a money-making perspective, and I also think what him and Jim Lee did, leaving and starting Image Comics, I mean, that's really the coolest thing they ever did. What they did do in this documentary was they recognized that Jack Kirby, the king of comics, and my personal favorite artist of all time, really reinvented the genre many times over during his career, and that's a recognition within the larger documentary setting that I was really dying to see. And they're sensitive to some of the dramas. You know, you sort of feel a behind-the-scenes sensitivity. They don't give too many people more credit than they deserve. And but I guess a real highlight for me, though, was watching Phil Jimenez, one of the only big-name homos in the whole industry, start welling up when he's talking about the X-Men and acceptance and all that stuff. And my boyfriend started laughing, you know, because he was crying, but I didn't want my boyfriend to see because I was crying too. But the best part of the whole documentary was actually something that wasn't in the documentary. It was in the, like, extended extras on their YouTube page. It's a video of Jack Urbont, who wrote the theme songs to the Marvel cartoons of the 60s, and it gave me life.
Submariner is the superhero, and he had antagonists since he lived under the ocean who were deadly demons. They were not quite as human as you or I, and although I'm very suspect. At any rate, Namor, Prince Namor, was stronger than a whale, and he was a little darker than the most. Therefore, I had an opportunity to be dramatic. First, some water music. Stronger than a whale, he can swim anywhere. He can breathe underwater and go flying through the air. The noble submariner makes ye wince, makes ye weep, so beware ye evil demons. Lord Namor of Atlantis is the prince of the deep, 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 deep.
You gotta watch this whole video. I'm putting it down there.